Alright, so welcome back guys, or welcome to this your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing my ranking of all 9 seasons of The Walking Dead from worst to best. Now first off, I just want to mention I love all 9 seasons of The Walking Dead, so don't get mad at me if I put one of your favorites down lower or one of the worst seasons up higher. I know that one of these choices will have a lot of you thinking I'm crazy and I'm not a true Walking Dead fan, but I just ask that we all be respectful of everybody's opinions and don't use any name calling or anything like that. Just be respectful in the comment section down below of everybody's ranking, because I feel like everybody's entitled to their ranking and everybody views each season differently. So let's just remember that in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's begin. Now, coming in at 9th place, I'm going to put Season 3. Now, I know a lot of people love this season for a lot of the action it did and everything regarding the governor and stuff like that. However, I did not really enjoy this season. If you're my honest opinion, I feel like this season kind of felt like a mess in regards to the plot. I feel like Mazzaro didn't really know what he was doing with the plot, and it just felt like it fell to pieces in a way. One of the things Mazzaro did great in this season and in season 2 was character development. A lot of why people love Daryl has a lot to do with what he did in this season and the second half of season 2. So I got to give him props for that. However, I feel like season 3 just felt like it was okay, but it just felt like it could have been a lot better. One of my biggest issues with season 3 is how the prisoners were handled. I feel like they were just cannon fodder for the prisoners' attacks. Like, can you remember any of their names really without looking them up? And if in my honest opinion, they should have lived. They should have survived season 3. I feel like them dying was very, very stupid. Even Merle, I think, should have survived till season 4. I think those 3 characters were very, very kind of mishandled in a way. I feel like they should have gone after the prisoners' attack in season 4, but I feel like it was okay. I know a lot of people get annoyed about Andrea's death. Honestly, I didn't care too much about Andrea in the TV show. She more annoyed me. So for that reason, I was okay with her dying. The governor felt a little bit toned down. He was all right, but just could have used a little bit more oomph. But overall, I just feel like this is a meh season for me. Coming in 8th place would have to be season 1. Now, this isn't me saying season 1 is a bad season. By all means, it's not. But to me, season 1 was season 1. There's nothing else to judge it by before that. So, it was a good season. I know people don't like the Vatos. I did kind of like them. There were some things I wish they had done better with that. But it was okay. The one thing, even though I know a lot of people are okay with it, but I feel like season 1 stumbled due to the 6-episode plot structure. I think it was okay, but it could have been helped if they had a few more episodes. I feel like a lot of what they did there was fine. Morales leaving, okay. I wish he kind of stick around, but him leaving was fine. My biggest issue with season 1 has to be the finale with the CDC. If you watch any of our videos previous to this, I probably have mentioned it before, but I do not like the CDC story part, because I feel like it just goes too much into like the Walker virus, and personally I just prefer that remain a mystery. So I kind of didn't like that they went there, and I know it was only 1 episode, didn't go too deep into it, but I would have preferred if they just left that alone. Even Kirkman has stated he doesn't really like that episode. I don't really like it, and I feel like they just wanted a big way to go out for season 1. Coming in 7th place is season 9. Now, this is the one you're probably thinking I'm nuts about. Now, I think season 9, okay, it was fine. But what really annoyed me when you look at season 9 is nothing was done original. Everything about it was Kang copying what other people did. The first half of Rick's departure, pretty much a copy of how they wrote off Madison. So that wasn't original content. It was pretty much copied from Fear. Then you got the second half with the Whispers. Now, the Whispers are cool, they're fun. They did a lot of good stuff with them. But if you look at it, the second half of season 9 is an exact copy of how Gimple did season 7 the first half. Now 10 is probably going to be the same thing as season 7, the back half in part 1 of season 8. So for that reason, it was just points for me. I feel like Kang doesn't have any originality. She just copied what other people did. And the only reason I think fans love Kang is due to the Trump effect. Gimple was so bad, so whoever they put in to replace him, everybody would have thought he was greater than Gimple. So, I do not like season 9 for that reason. The finale I hated. One of the worst finales in my opinion. And it just lost a lot of points for me for some of the things it did. I know a lot of people love it and think it's great, but to me, it has no originality. Coming in at 6th place would have to be season 2. Now, I know a lot of people hate this season, but I really did enjoy it. If you look at what season 2 was, it was mainly character development. We got to dig deeper into what these characters are like. We got to dig into what their thoughts and feelings were and what was going on with them in the beginning of the Walker apocalypse, in the zombie apocalypse. Had some great stuff. The first half dealing with Sophia missing, great stuff there. I don't think anybody will ever forget her walking out of that barn. Great first part. The second half, a little bit weaker, but still a decent season. They had stuff with Randall, whether he should live or not, in the beginning of the apocalypse. It was a very smart thing to do. How to keep your morals in the beginning when you go into this zombie apocalypse. I really like that. So, I really did enjoy this season. I feel like the only thing that maybe could have gone down different was having Dale not die. However, I understand the actor wanted to leaving, so I kind of give it a pass there. Overall, I felt like this is a good season. The ending with Shane's death and Beside the Dying Fire was probably 2 of my favorite episodes of all time. So for that reason, it came in 6th place. It's a really good season, and I really enjoy going back to watch it every now and then. Coming in at 5th place would have to be season 7. Now, I know for a lot of people, this is where The Walking Dead kind of went downhill for them. However, I did enjoy season 7. I feel like what a lot of people hate is the plot structure for the season, where they had every episode being a different character's story. I kind of liked it. It was good. The only poor episode would probably have to be the one with Tara at Oceanside. The premiere was awesome. Probably one of the best premieres. I understand why people don't like it with it jumping to different characters every episode. But I did enjoy it. You got to see different points of view, how these characters think, and how things went. And Gimple did something perfect. He used Michael Hughes' the 6-act plot structure, which would continue into season 8. Brilliantly done. So I gotta give him props there. I know a lot of people might not like it because it was kind of dragged out for 8 episodes, but he still did great writing there. So I gotta give him a pass there. I know a lot of people probably won't, but I gotta give him a pass there because I thought he did great stuff with Negan and stuff like that. Got introduced to the new communities. So really good stuff. Coming in at 4th place is season 8. Now, another season a lot of people hate. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of great action. Again, continuing, Gimple followed Michael Hughes' 6X plot structure, which is why I put these back to back. 2 great seasons following his great plot structure. And then Gimple did something even greater using Blake Schneider's technique of using the Dark Night of the Soul when it came to Carl's death. Now, I know a lot of people hate Carl's death and think it was the worst thing that ever happened in The Walking Dead. I was okay with it because, one, I thought Chandler Riggs was a very bad actor and didn't really care much for Carl and loved Judith a lot more. But I feel like Carl's death needed to happen in order to get us to the finale. It couldn't have been translated in how Kirkman did it in the comics. So Gimple used what Schneider calls the Dark Night of the Soul to put Rick in a dark place, leading it up to the finale where he would eventually read Carl's letters and have a change of heart. So for that reason, I put it a lot higher than probably other people would. Coming in at 3rd place would have to be season 4. Now, I think season 4 is definitely one of the better seasons of the series. Scott Gimple came in and breathed new life into the show. One of the things I loved about how season 4 is because it subverted expectations. When we came back in season 4, we were expecting this big fight with the governor. Instead, we got this whole thing with the flu, which I thought was brilliantly done. Taking an aspect like that and putting it into a zombie apocalypse was brilliant and something probably I wouldn't have thought of. And I think That was something that helped the show. The governor had a perfect attack. Again, I'll go back and say Axel, Oscar, and Merle should have died during that attack, other than Herschel and a bunch of red shirts. But I still did enjoy the season very much. You had the introduction of Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene. So great stuff. Terminus was great. The only reason it kind of got in third place is because the back half was kind of a slow season and kind of a slow burn. I did like the Claimers, but I still feel like the second half kind of was filler half the time, and it just wasn't that great. Still had some great episodes like The Grove and stuff, but still not as good as some of the other two that I picked to go above this. So that's why it got third place. Coming in at second place, our runner-up is Season 5. Now, I know a lot of fans will say Season 5 is probably one of the top number one season for them. However, for me, I'd put it at second place due to something that I didn't like. First off, I really didn't care much for the hospital arc with Beth. Now, I liked Beth as a character. However, my biggest issue is the fact that they took her from being a B-level character and pretty much forced her into an A-level character, which kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. I thought the hospital stuff was an interesting plot, but it really, all it did was put Beth in a place where she could die, and put Maggie in that place to, push her story forward. And it just felt like it also wasn't needed, because it also just showed us Noah, who ended up dying a few episodes earlier. Now, I know Noah's purpose was to get our group to move towards Virginia and Alexandria, but I feel like they could have done it in a different way, where they ran into Noah or something like that. But those are some of the reasons. I love the stuff with Terminus in the first half. Great starter to the season. Then we go into Tyrese's death. Tyrese's death really frustrated me, just to the point where it felt dragged out and just was annoying, at least in my opinion. I liked Tyrese as a character. I like Beth as a character, but their deaths just felt out of place, and just kind of felt like these characters need to get out of the show. So they need to find a way to write them off, and they just felt like they were backed into a corner and just didn't really know what they were doing. My number one pick would have to be Season 6. Now, I know a lot of fans have mixed feelings towards Season 6, but it's probably one of my favorite seasons. You got No Way Out in the beginning. You got the stuff with Morgan, Carol, and Rick, which is great. The Wolves, while short-lived, had an interesting plot line, and I love how it put Morgan and Carol at odds in the first half. And I just felt like the No Way Out arc, while some people might not like it and felt like they missed out on some things that they should have done, I feel like it was done to the best of the ability when working with a TV show. Another thing that I have reservations about, that I'm not totally sure if I like or not, is Dwight being introduced pre-burnt face. I don't know, part of me liked it, part of me felt like they shouldn't have done it, but overall, still very much enjoy seeing Dwight earlier. Then you got the second half with the setup to the Saviors, introduction to Hilltop, great stuff there. Got to meet Jesus, great stuff there, and Gregory's introduced. Just love what they did there. Then you got the whole raiding of that satellite outpost, one of the greatest episodes in my opinion. Really fun episode. And then you get the introduction to Negan in the finale. Now, I know a lot of fans hate the cliffhanger finale. However, I was able to look past it, just due to the fact that I had a hunch it was coming. So when I left it on the cliffhanger, I wasn't all that upset, because I had a feeling it was going to happen. So when it ended up being true, I was just like, oh, okay, I knew it was happening, and I'll wait. I know fans hate the cliffhanger ending, but to me, since I knew it was coming, I was okay with it. So yeah, guys, that's my ranking of all 9 seasons of The Walking Dead. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which I have linked in the About section of my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.